Pisces, what's going on? Pisces and Pisces, happy Scorpio season. So look, peep game, right? First I want to say, I got these t-shirts inside of the Etsy store. So if you go to the channel and you see the cover photo, you'll see that there's an Etsy icon on the cover photo. If you click on it, it'll take you to the store so you can get Rated Benjamin merch now. These are the male versions. There's V-neck versions for the ladies coming in about 2 to 3 more days. So y'all keep a lookout for that. More colors will be there. I think maybe if you request them or whatever the case may be as well. You know what I'm saying? Bear with me because it's like make to order. So I want to know what you want exactly before I actually make them. It's kind of like custom making them before I like do it on a large scale of mass producing them. You know what I mean? So just starting out with these. So see how that goes. But that's where you can find them. And now let's get into it. Happy Scorpio season, y'all. I'm going to explain some aspect things before I get in depth to the reading. So I want y'all to understand this. There's going to be some obstacles between the action that you're taking right now and your dreams. So you may have to put your dreams on the back burner in order to handle some things that need your immediate attention. Okay? And I would advise quick action being taken here. Masculine energy being exerted here. If you're a female, same applies. Because Mars is a masculine energy, Gemini is a masculine energy, and this masculine energy is going to be exerted for the purpose of having a feminine quality, having a home that could be nurturing, where you can be relaxed and you could, be comfortable and feel secure. That's why this is happening. You know what I mean? So if you already got this, let this fly over your head. If it don't apply, let it fly. You feel me? However, if this is you and you feel some like insecurities here and there because you feel like you could tweak something and make it happen, move on those thoughts. Because I will also say this, acting on your thoughts at this particular time in Scorpio season produces luck for you, okay? Now, you might get rerouted because, again, remember I said you might not be able to take actions on your dreams in the way that you want to. You might get rerouted, right? But that'll be the universe showing you a sign that, look, there's other thoughts that you could capitalize on right now. Take your time and work on this. You know what I'm saying? Despite how you may feel like it should be that way, you may be adamant about the thing that you just thought of and taking action on, but it's just like the universe will respond to you. No. And this should be a learning experience. You shouldn't be angered and frustrated because it could potentially happen with Mars being there. It's the planet of potential anger and frustration. But if you harness that energy to be productive, you'll find out how it'll work in your favor. You understand what I'm saying? Gemini is a learning sign. So if you feel that you can't learn right now, you are totally out of pocket. You understand? That's a red flag. You don't know it all, especially right now. You're being hands-on for a reason. You're learning something with muscle memory that you, even if you knew it before, you just didn't know how important it was until right now. All right, because your dreams are on the other side of here. When 2023 come around and Mars goes into Cancer, you're going to see how the opportunity presents itself for you to capitalize on that. But right now, you have an obstacle in front of you. And this could be as simple as, and I don't want to complicate this could be as simple as texting someone, picking up the phone, calling them about something that you sparred ideas with before and capitalize, moving on that, at least touching grounds on that. This could be something as simple as going to the mailbox, dropping off a piece of mail that you know you've been supposed to drop off, But it could be things like that, running errands in the community and stuff, because that's Gemini stuff. So this is astrology applied in the moment, obeying the transit, being in the moment, stop being anxious and, anticipating worst case scenarios and stuff like that. Think good thoughts, because also ease and luck for transitioning to be an authoritative figure will fall right in your lap based upon the actions that you take. That's one. And not only that, the thoughts on building a reputation for yourself or being recognized for these things, just merely thinking about them can catapult you into an authoritative place. You see, you got to think good thoughts, because to be in an authoritative place, you got to be responsible to some degree, right? You have to be able to respond to what's presented in front of you, and that will bring you the prowess that you need to be recognized as that type of figure. This is a simple time for this to happen because of the trine aspect that's occurring right now. So pay attention to the words that I'm saying. This can help you out a great deal, Pisces. Pisces and Pisces, all right? Now, you will also experience obstacles when it comes to the people who are there to help you expand. And you might have already situated these people or these channel companies, these organizations, these networks already prior to this point that we're at right now. and you're gonna have to revisit this to revise something. You glossed over something, you missed something, and this is the time to find out what that thing is. Is it positive? Is it negative? I don't know, but it's something that you need to identify, and when doing so, fact check to see if these people or these organizations or these companies, right, are they qualified to do the expansion job for your growth, whether it's pertaining to your career, your family, whatever it is that you set out to do. Are they qualified enough? Are they missing something? Could they use some additional type resource, knowledge, information, or just a complete different staff altogether? Did you check the competition of the companies that you chose to bring that plan forward? This is where you cross your T's and dot your I's. Jupiter's going to be retrograde, going back into Pisces, which deals with your dreams. So even more of a reason to do this, right? So you will want to figure out, and Jupiter's going to be protecting you as this occurs. You know what I'm saying? This is why it's happening, because it's like, okay, you want to be fully optimistic in the energy of Jupiter when this thing takes off. If you're second guessing or skeptical about any of these things, it's because you didn't correct these few things that needed correcting. When doing so, look to see if these people are self-serving and bigger picture people at the same time. Yes, it could be done and it can be productive in that way as well. You don't need people sabotaging and drilling holes in the boat when y'all rowing. You know what I'm saying? Some people go for the ride just because it's a paycheck, and you don't necessarily want that. You want people who are highly capable of being individuals. That way they can float on their own boat. They got. You could give them a raft. You could give them, what do they call those things? Them things that I'm talking about. I just can't think of it right now. But one of those things to float if they need to. They could swim if they have to. Look for those people. Because when it comes to bigger picture thinking, at least they'll be able to handle what it is that they're appointed to handle on their own, despite chaos and circumstances, right? Because Pisces, the energy thrives in chaos. So your dreams is usually along the lines of chaos. It's on the other side of being comfortable, So you want people who are qualified. And make sure when you're making those adjustments, you also add the factor of money in those adjustments, because you may not have to invest as much as you thought you had to invest. You might get a free trial on some Adobe product that you didn't know that you could get. There's all types of ways. At least you get 30 days, and then you test the people that you believe are qualified to do the job. And you see how good they are at it before you have to spend the actual money. You get what I'm saying? So these little tweaks and adjustments you make can really benefit you should you pay attention and take the necessary actions. Now, both of y'all. Now, I would say this is one of the more profound readings of this Scorpio season, because the sun is focused on a new way of doing things. I think Pisces and Pisces couples have the ability right now to take astrocartography to another level. I think there is something, y'all are onto something, or at least y'all have the potential to be. There is something about a new world coming into play here. And I know you've heard other people speak about the new world order, and the new age, Aquarius age, and all of that. It's more profound now. It's coming more into realization of how this thing can actually be accomplished now. And the way that I'm seeing it, the way that I'm perceiving it from a Piscean lens, is that astrocartography has a great deal to do with it, but it always had. I was looking at a documentary the other day about how the Egyptians used the grid line of the earth before they built the monuments that they built, to make sure that it was aligned precisely before building these monuments, because there are points on the grid that have negative energies and that have positive energies, and they would not make the mistake of building something around somewhere that had negative energies. And I'm trying to have someone come on with me so we could introduce this theory of mine to the channel. Still in the process of making that happen. Like I said, sometimes things get in the way that needs immediate attention, you know what I mean? But we will get along to that. My point being is this: when you look at the astrocartography maps, it's kind of similar to these grids that was shown in the documentary. It's like identical, and it's like the astrocartography maps are like flat earth maps, which was needed because the maps, I forget what they call them, but they're different types of maps that they have names attributed to them to decipher, differentiate the two. And the map that is standardly used worldwide it's an error because they make certain land masses bigger than what they truly are, closer to each other than what they truly are. And they did this because they tried to make a simplified way of looking at the map. And it was good for some, I guess, traveling exploits, but apart from that, it just wasn't accurate. So then they made this other map that is like more spread out and flat. It shows the Earth as being flat. I hope I don't get flagged for this, but you understand what I'm saying? But these maps are the maps that have the grids. And if you look at an astrocartography map, this is how the maps are. You understand what I'm saying? So in finding an astrocartography map, right? And this is more than likely usually would be spoken about behind the scenes because Mercury is in our 8th house, Pisces, which is establishing these relationships that we can converse about these things and keep this secretive and under wraps because the rest of the world just might not be able to absorb this information right now. You know what I mean? But I told y'all I got Uranus and Scorpio. What do you want me to do? I'd be rebelling against the whole secret society type shit. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes anyway. But my point here is we will be building with people who speak the same language as us, put it that way. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like this is a safe place to say it because, you know, this is an occult channel. People who are here, you subscribe, this is what you come here for. But you got to also remember someone who's not into this stuff can still have the ability to come on YouTube and just search it and find me and look at it as well. You know what I mean? But, you know, it is what it is, you know? But the money planet of Venus is inside of Scorpio as well. So we could have the urge to invest these resources in these types of things, right? And more than likely we will, but you got to pay attention to the aspect thing that I spoke about when it's time to look at the people that we feel are obligated to carry out this expansion for us and make sure that all of that is in its proper place before investing the resources in it, Pisces, you feel me? And not for nothing, Scorpio is a sign of psychology, studying of the mind, and occult practices, right? So even more of a reason to do the research on this types of stuff right now because, peep it, right? We got Mars inside of our 4th house, which has us putting a lot of energy into the home life right now, the domestic life of where we put our roots, right? Where we put our stomping grounds, where we're from, or at least where we chose to put our flag down, right? And at the same time, we got the focus and the concentration in our 9th house, which is abroad, somewhere else. So I'm bringing it on home, trust me when I tell y'all. So my point here is that, look, we can look at astrocartography maps right now, Pisces, and we can figure out where we're at right now and how it pertains to our career or whatever planets got the upper hand or the lower part of the totem pole, whatever's going on where we're at right now, we can pinpoint it on the astrocartography map and we can assess ourselves and say, is this cool? Is this a cool place to be? If so, how can we see this in the future, right? And we're able to do that by utilizing astrology as well, doing electional chart readings. We can do orrery readings. We can look at our natal charts. We can study transits and figure out what could potentially come from these places that we're in, physical, tangible places that we're in, right? So why do I tie this into the new world or a new way of, it's a new way of doing things because it's 9th house for us. So we got to see how like people, they claim that they have these countries, right? And they have these nations and they have these religions and stuff like that. But if you pay close attention, you see how everything is crumbling. We're in a breakaway society right now. The old structure is crumbling. Nobody cares. Nobody cares what you... Everybody's like that now. Like, everybody's like that. So it's just like, well, you feel this way, that way, and the third? Okay, well, we're going to test that. We're going to try that theory. We're going to try you. Anything is up for grabs right now. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like lawless, if you will. And I don't say that to celebrate it. You know what I'm saying? I don't say that to say it's a good thing. But I am saying it to, like, freedom is at hand. You understand what I'm saying? So all of that, you liable to this or you got to do this, that, and the third, well, we're going to question that. That might be questionable. That might be debatable. You understand what I'm saying? So my point in that is saying, yo, look, your nation that you're trying to form or the nation that we're trying to form, because I'm actually interested in this, Pisces, and we're in this together. We're the same sign, so I'm speaking for both of us. I don't got to go back and forth like I did with the other signs, right? You're interested in this as well. What I'm saying is we probably already have our nation in play already. So let's say, for example, I'm in a place right now where my authoritative figure as far as being an authoritative figure as far as spirituality goes is the perfect place to be. Okay? And I just found this out recently. Had no idea. I've been doing this for like the past 6 years almost. And I'm like, oh, okay, I do see that. Not only that, but there's also a mixture of the glamour world, like magic and stuff like that. Like, it could be like some film stuff going on in this area in New York for me, should I choose to do that way. And I've had this in the back of my mind, but it's just like making it come into fruition, which I always knew that it would take more than the average energy that I was putting in at that time. You know what I'm saying? So, but it comes with some complexities. It comes with not going crazy at the same time, because there could be a lot of disappointment, but also some sobering truths. The truth is always found out where I'm at. And I'm reading you my real astral cartography for where I'm at right now. The truth always reveals itself. No matter how harsh it may be or how much it may be a devastating blow to me, the truth always comes out for me. It's very useful, but it's also it causes anguish. You know, it's like knowledge causes anguish. So it could be some disappointing things as far as you having your dreams and your hopes up high for something like this, and then you get let down by the actual truth, you know? So that's at hand here too. But I don't mean to drag that and be a Debbie Downer about it either, you know? Like I said, it has its pros, it has its cons. I'm able to deal with that. But let's say I want to amplify a different area of my life that's more Venus related, because I spoke about Neptune and Saturn. Let's say I want to do something more Venus related, more Mars related, you know what I'm saying? Then there's other areas in the world that I can travel to, ninth house, y'all, take a trip to, go on an adventure to find these locations and test that very theory. And let's say I want to be in a place that has more associations with people who make money or generate wealth and stuff like that. I can take this trip, Pisces, we can take this trip to these areas, and we could put another flag down there. You understand what I'm saying? And if we might both have the same planet being favored there, or we might have different planets being favored there. But if I land in a place, for example, where wealth is being generated, and you land in a place that's going to give you new eccentric experiences because for you Uranus is there, then we can call that location a certain thing. You understand what I'm saying? And be like, yo, everybody email us or call us if you got this same vibration going on over in this area, because then we don't have to second guess who the bad apples might be if they come into the community and they want to cause havoc and crime and stuff like that, because we already have it mapped out on the map that says, yo, this is not one of those negative points. Like the Egyptians knew this stuff already. You know what I'm saying? Be like, yo, this is not one of those negative points where those types of accidents or those types of behaviors take place, as long as we vet the people to understand what their natal charts are and how they moving. You know what I'm saying? I know that sounds like, oh, but wait a minute. That means that we're putting restrictions on people. That means that we're telling people they can't pass go, or they can't pass these lines. Like they need passes in order to get into within these lines. But isn't that what people are doing already? Isn't that what a lot of geographical places are doing already? They're saying you need a pass for this, you need to board this with this type of pass, you need identification for this, that, and the third. Aren't they doing that already? But they're not vetting people for their natal charts, are they? They're not vetting people and say, well, you know what, this is going to be a bad boy between the ages of 7 and 25. So maybe they should go to this, and it might not mean the worst. Maybe it just means that they need to travel to another place. I remember when I was very little, I traveled to Ohio. I moved to Ohio for a few years, and I did so well. I got skipped in school and everything. I did so well compared to when I was in PS 45 in Queens and all that when I was in New York. You know what I'm saying? And I came back, New York back in me. Forget about it. Off to the races. Another time. It's another story for another time. You understand what I'm saying? But this is my point. Like, different locations in the world will impact us in different ways. This is at our fingertips. This is at our grasp. It's always been at our grasp, but they don't teach these things in school. You know, you got to learn this through astrology. You got to learn this through the occult. These are hidden practices. These are not made public in your public schools and stuff like that. Thankfully, we're able to talk about it and teach it in college now and do experiments with it in college now. When I first went to college, we wasn't able to do it. I brought it to the board and they was like, that's a pseudoscience. We can't do that. And I'm like, what? I tried again the next year and I got in because there were more people like me doing research on astrology, and they got through the door. They got their feet in the door. You know what I'm saying? Next thing you know, I'm looking for literature on astrology. I found like 15 articles. I'm like, wow, I only found 2 before when I first started. You know what I mean? So again, this is at hand. This could potentially happen. And with Mars being in our 4th house, we can do the community work that's necessary to obtain the information that knows what it takes to have a community, right? And also pinpoint the differentiations inside of our community, how we differ so much in a community, yet we stay there because we either don't have the resources to travel, or we get complacent, right? Or I don't know, we just tolerate each other and we have less things in common. You know what I mean? So it's just like, sometimes you don't even understand that you're under the guise of other people's controls and powers. It's kind of like you were almost placed there. But, you know, I wouldn't say that it's a terrible thing either. I think you are where you're supposed to be, at least in that moment in time. And this is what's exciting about this time right now, Pisces. And Pisces, hope y'all enjoy y'all Scorpio season. I know I will, no matter what, I'm going to enjoy it. You understand what I'm saying? So y'all get in the comment section. Let me know how y'all feel or whatever the case may be. I'm out.